Protect your wealth, increase your wealth, and earn new wealth. So today our focus would be increasing our wealth. Now the next question comes, as I told you in the earlier session, that we should always ask a question, why? Why am I talking about increasing your wealth? Why am I talking about investing? And that's a very, very one wonderful characteristic about money. Okay. When we plant a seed, when we plant a seed, it increases, it grows. Similarly, when you plant a seed of money, it also grows into money plants. So today we are going to talk about how to grow, how to nurture the money plant so that later in the years, in the last class I gave you a mantra, no? What does money say to you? What does money tell you? Save me today. Exactly our job. Money will tell you, save me today, so I will save you tomorrow. But saving is not enough. Okay? Saving is not enough. We have to ensure that the saved money is properly nurtured. So today we will be talking about the need for investments. Okay? We'll be looking about the last session. Exactly, Ananya. We'll be talking about the last session, recap of a little last session. The concept of return on investment we'll be talking about. Introduction and importance of compounding, and we'll do some activity and examples on compounding. And when we will be talking about a very interesting rule called Rule of 72. Do we know Rule of 72? Anybody knows Rule of 72? Okay. Okay, you know, that's great. And then finally we will do a case study on investment. So this is our agenda today. Let's start with the last recap of the last session. If you remember, the last session was about budgeting. So we talked about the concept of surplus. Surplus is income minus expenses, and deficit also income minus expenses. Surplus is when there is positive extra, that is income minus expenses. Yes, Arjun, that is the rule. This is what we are going to discuss. We are going to apply Rule of 72. Okay. So we discussed in the last class, when what we were discussing budget. And when we are talking about budgeting, budgeting would mean keeping a tab on your income and expenses. Keeping a tab on income and expenses. That is what budgeting is all about. So we discussed surplus, deficit, opportunity cost also we discussed. Anybody remembers what is opportunity cost? The cost of next best alternative. Okay. Delayed gratification and instant gratification. So what are we people supporter of? Delayed gratification or instant gratification? Delayed. Everybody delayed now. Okay. Don't focus on instant gratification. Exactly. I am happy that most of the people are answering delayed gratification, because delayed gratification will let you have more in future. And this is what we are talking about, because income minus expenses, will there be a surplus? Okay. Yes, marshmallow study. Anybody saw marshmallow study on YouTube? There is a video on marshmallow study. Dekhega, see this. Okay. That's great. So what we are talking about here, yes, we talked about smart goal also. We talked about cash flow statement is keeping a track of your income and expenditure, and your income should be more than expenditure. Another formula I gave you, savings is equal to income minus expenses, or expenses is equal to income minus saving. Okay. So we need to change our attitude to income minus savings is equal to expenditure. Exactly, Joyce. This is the attitudinal shift. Mathematically, there is no change in the formula. But what is the attitudinal shift? That we need to have a targeted savings. Income minus savings is equal to expenditure. Exactly. Shreyas and Krish and Tarandeep. That depends on you. How much can you leave for delayed gratification, Siddharth? Siddharth has asked my question that how much we should. You are basically asking how much we should consume and how much we should live. At least 30 to 40%, 30% of income. That depends on the income level also. So for each person, this question is answer is different. If somebody is earning less, na Siddhartha, then he will be able to save less part of his income for future. But somebody who's earning more, maybe I am earning a lot of money, I can save 50% of income. Okay? So have a targeted amount of saving, be disciplined in life. Every month, every year, I have to save something. I have to ensure that my net worth has to grow, because that is the final aim. Na? If you want to get rich, how do you get rich? You get rich only if your net worth increases. And how will net worth increase? By net worth will increase if your assets will increase and liabilities will decrease. No, if you are focusing on instant gratification would mean that you will keep on you will keep on spending everything that you are earning, or if you are insisting on earning spending even more, you will borrow and spend. No, so that's not a wise thing to do. Okay? So make a tactical balance between these two things, savings and consumption. Exactly. Appreciable assets and depreciable assets. So focus on appreciable assets. Your assets also are of two kinds, no? Okay. So it is important to analyze the cash flow statement, do a need or want analysis, draw an optimum saving plan. Need and want analysis, please identify and classify which expenditure. Yes, we also did discretionary and indiscretionary expenditure. So you have to understand which of the expenditure is indiscretionary, that cannot be tampered with, and what expenditure is discretionary, which you can reduce. If you are doing so much of analysis, no, if you are so much aware about your finances, believe me, you will have surplus. Currently, you can create surplus. In the month of May, you are getting some money. Right now, the when avenues to spend are lesser, no? You cannot go out and have a burger or pizza. And the burger, that pizza can be called to home, but I'm sure the frequencies have reduced. So this is important. It is important to analyze the cash flow statement, do a need want analysis, discretionary and discretionary expenditure analysis, draw an optimum savings plan. Market is down means you are talking about stock market, Krish? Stock market is fluctuating. Today it closed 400 points higher. So overall everything is down. No, this is a difficult time. Okay. Right now, a little digressing from the topic, what I'm saying is the time that you are seeing in last 3, 4, 5 generation, nobody has seen such a time. There are many shares. I am not giving any tips on the shares. Yeah, Arjun, what do you want to ask? Questions you can ask in Q&A. That would be better. If you want to ask anything, ask in the Q&A. Okay. Today you can ask about stock market. Answer you, Raghav, you given a chat, and question you can ask in this Q&A. So basically, it's okay, Adya, you can do it here. Chetan has asked me a question, how to analyze a stock. How to analyze a stock? That's a very, very interesting question. There are two kinds of analysis. Okay. If you are looking at investing in a stock for a small, short time, you can do a technical analysis. Okay. And the long-term analysis is fundamental analysis. When I'm talking about fundamental analysis, I am talking about look at the stock as a business. Okay. Look at the stock as a business and analyze everything that may impact the business of the company. So we can talk about if the state of the economy, the state of the industry, overall state of the economy, the competitors, who are the competitors, how is the company being managed. So we will be evaluating management also. There are a lot of things. So basically it will be technical or fundamental analysis. Those are, if you are in school right now, those are not the topics for you. Yeah, Joyce, it's SWOT analysis, SWOT analysis. SWOT. Okay. This is a session where we will be talking about stock market, but we are not going to talk in detail about stock market. How do we know when to sell the stock? When you have earned enough profit, Anaya. Take a target profit, target return in your mind. Let's say I want to earn 15% or 20%. If my target return is 20%, I bought the stock at 100 rupees and I sell the stock at 20 rupees, then I will earn 20. Don't wait for it to go to 120, 140, 180. Then there is no limit. Okay, make a target return. Keep a target return in your mind. Exactly. Take a target return. Smart goals. And as Warren Buffett says, na, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. A very famous quote of Warren Buffett. Be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. So when the market falls down from 40,000 to 20,000, everybody is fearful. That is the time to buy. And when the market is going very, very high, overvalued, and everybody is buying, don't go there. Plus, to answer your question, make a target return. Always keep, goal should be specific. Okay, I want to earn money, a lot of money. Now that money, if you don't know, I want to earn 20%, 40%, 70%, it should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. In 3 months, I want to earn 10% interest. If you have done that, 10% return, then do that. Okay. So this is where the return becomes. The concept of return on investment, this is where the investment begins. Doesn't depend on market harness, depends on your targeted return. Has it been achieved? If the market is high, but the share you are owning, if it is not high, don't sell it. Now, what is return? Return is the extra that you earn on your money. Let's see a lemonade case study. Okay. School kids talking about once upon a time in a school hostel, there were two kids, Raj and Yash. Okay. Raj says to Yash, Yash, I am thinking of setting up a lemonade stall in the school fete on Sunday. Since it is summer, he is creating a business idea of setting up a lemonade stall. Then Yash says, go ahead. That's a very, very broad question you have asked, Arjun. I'll answer to your question. Let me cover the PPT. When we come to investment options, I'll answer your question. Okay. So let's talk about the story of two kids. I'm thinking of setting a lemonade stall in school fete on Sundays. This summer, I think there will be quite a few takers for my lemonade. This guy thinks, yes, sir, that's great idea. Go ahead, then what's stopping you? And please understand one thing. I understand that you all are very excited about stock market. That's wonderful. But the stock market is not the only place to invest. There are 10,000 other places where you can invest money. So today we are talking about investments. Okay. And we'll be looking at various options. So Yash says, that's a great idea, Raj. You open a small lemonade stall, what's stopping you? Okay. Raj says, I haven't got the time to write to my parents. I need rupees 500 to buy the ingredients to make the lemonade. I was wondering if you can lend me the money from your piggy bank. This guy has money. Okay. Yash thinks, will he return my money? Now, obviously, he is worried about the credit worthiness of his friend. No, he thinks, oh, what if he is not be able to make proper lemonade and all? And will he be able to return my money or not? And that's a very, very valid question that should come in the mind of any lender. No, if there can be two options in front of Raj. Either he can borrow the money or he can say, yes, you come and you become my partner. Okay. If the Raj is making Yash his partner, then what he is giving him to? If Raj is making Yash partner in the lemonade business, he is giving him equity. Okay. Equity share. Yes, equity. Share is also called equity. And if Yash is borrowing from Raj is borrowing from Yash, he is taking debt. DEBT, debt. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Krish. So, which is more risky? If you looking at the point of view, Raj can invest equity into Yash's business, or yeah, Raj can give debt to Yash. Now, which you think is more risky, equity or debt? Becoming a partner is more risky or lending the money is more risky? Debt is more risky. Lending money is more risky. Why? Okay, let me give you another thing. Lending money may forget about the possibility that this guy will not return back. Okay, 100%. There is no credit risk. This guy will return the money. Now tell me which is more risky. Still, debt is more risky. Some people are saying, like Aditya is saying, partner is more risky. Why becoming a partner is more risky than lending a debt? Becoming a partner is more risky because you share both profit and loss. Exactly. Okay. If the credit worthiness is assured, then equity is a more risky thing, because in debt, even if the person, even if this guy Raj goes to losses, if I'm lending you money, you are into loss. How do I care? You have to return my money, you know. But if I'm your partner, boss, then there's a problem. It improves profit possibility also. At the same time, it improves loss possibility also. Exactly. Becoming a partner is more risky. Equity is more risky than debt. That's why we say investing in a stock market, investing in equity markets is more risky than investing in debt markets. Because if you are investing, now this was a simple question, but if you are investing in an equity share of a company, let's say, which is the biggest company in India, Reliance, no? So if you are investing in the equity share of Reliance, what you are doing? You are, okay. If you are, exactly, you are buying the stocks, you are believing in the vision of Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Okay. If his vision goes waste, then you will lose money. No? What happened to the people who invested in the companies of Anil Ambani? That's what happened, no? So, in terms of equity and debt, equity is more risky, but right now this guy is not talking about equity, this guy is talking about lending money. Yash is worried ki will he return my money? So Raj makes a more attractive offer. He says, what if I borrow rupees 500 but return rupees 600? You only stand to gain in this situation. What say? Now, why would Yash is thinking, why would Raj give me 600? If he takes money 500 from me, why would he give me back 600? Now tell me, why would he give back 600? Interest or maybe a return of investment. Okay. This is because it's interest position, because he's using the money. Okay. And Yash is getting the money. This amount that you get extra, okay, this amount that Yash will be getting extra. Why getting extra? Because he's lending the money. He's taking a risk, no? He's taking a risk. Some kind of risk he's taking by lending his money to Raj. So this is his compensation for that return risk. Okay. So when you give money to somebody, that money generates interest. If you do not invest money somewhere, the money is not going to generate interest and money is not going to grow. That is the cornerstone of investment. You are looking at investing in share market in the hope that it will grow at a faster rate. So what is the return on investment? Return on the investment is the extra money that you get because you took risk and you invested, no? Okay. So Yash becomes happy. Okay, I'll get my return on investment, and he decides to lend the money to Raj. And this is what happens when a company in the market needs money. What does it come up with? If a company needs money, if the Burger King in last year, if you had observed, Burger King had come up with an IPO, no? So Burger King has a decision to make. Okay. I hope everybody is getting me. I'm not getting to. Some people already know the things, but for the people who do not know this, please listen to me carefully and don't hesitate to ask questions. If you do not understand any concept that I am talking, please ask me. So if a Burger King wants more money to open more outlets in India, okay, now that money can be borrowed also from the market, and that money can be arranged by coming up with an IPO. You are selling the partnership or the shares of your company to the public. So public will become your partner. So when a company comes up with an IPO, it distributes equity. And when the company has to borrow, what a company does, the company takes the loan from the bank. Now, in your case, if you have to borrow, where do you go? If you have to borrow, you go to banks. Okay. Okay. You go to bank, but companies, in addition to the bank, companies can go to the capital markets also to borrow. When companies want money and want to become their share, you to become shareholders, they issue shares. But when the companies want to borrow money from the public, exactly, they issue something known as debenture. So share and debenture. My voice is low for everybody here. People, is my voice okay? It was low. Now it's fine. Okay, okay, okay. Thanks a lot. Okay. So we are talking about that anybody who takes from your money, you put your money anywhere, the money will generate returns. That return that will be generated by money will be known as return on investment. And return on investment is the FD is also kind of an investment, Harshita, but there are other investment product that can give you more return than FD. What is brokerage? Akshar has asked me a question. What is brokerage in the share market? Brokerage is basically what happens when you are investing. Okay. This is a good question. So let me tell you what is brokerage. Okay. If you have to invest in the share market, you cannot go to invest in the stock exchanges directly, because stock exchanges do not interact with the direct investors. Stock exchanges have some members. Okay. So they are called trading members of the stock exchange. They are called also brokers. So if I want to invest in a stock, I will have to open a demat account with a broker. Okay. Through a broker, my demat account is with the depository. So like companies like ICICI Direct, HDFC Securities, Kotak, okay, Motilal Oswal, exactly. So these people are brokers. Through them, I open an account with them, a demat account and a trading account, and through them, I invest money into the share market. Now, some part of my money they take as commission. Okay, that is basically known as brokerage, where broker is the intermediary between you and the stock exchange. No, you cannot buy shares directly. You have to have go through a broker only. Broker is also called trading member. FD is a safer option. Yes, sir. But FD के return के साथ there is a problem. There is a problem with FD's return. So Raj came across that problem. Let's see the problem with FD. Raj goes to home and tells his mother, "Mom, can you give me 200 rupees for snacks? I'll go out to McDay's." His grandpa was sitting there. He say, "What? You are asking 200 rupees for just one burger? We used to run whole full household for a month." Now Raj is surprised. 200 rupees he'll spend on a burger. And his grandfather is saying that he used to run all the household in 200 rupees. Now, this is correct or wrong? Is grandfather telling the truth? Yes, partly correct, because grandfather is talking about some 50, 60 years back. Yeah, it could be correct. It could be correct. I'm talking about. So basically, the part that here plays is inflation. Inflation changes the value of the money very, very rapidly. The purchasing power of the money reduces very, very rapidly. Things that were 100 rupees last year, they will cost 110 rupees this year. So the same amount of money will be able to buy lesser. The same amount of the money is able to buy lesser, and that is one big reason that we should invest. So people who are talking about FD, what is the return that you people get on FD? Are you aware? If you are going to bank and make an FD, what is the kind of return that the interest these guys give? Yeah, 5-6%, not more than 5-6%. Okay. On a higher side, 5-6%. And what is the rate of inflation in our economy? Any idea? Inflation? Inflation would be 4 to 5%. That's a government estimate. Now, in addition to this, there are two more kind of inflations running in our country. Full form of FD Avantika is fixed deposit with the bank. Fixed deposit. Okay. Fixed deposit, term deposit. Okay, Bega. I'll explain inflation. Inflation is a phenomena which reduces your value, purchasing power of money. Inflation means the gradual increase in the prices of the goods and services, which will make your money less valuable. Okay? And this is a very important reason that we should invest. You buy a Tesla for 440,000 2015 and 2020, the same car would cost me 100,000. The car has, the value of Tesla has come down because the technology has become more accessible. Chale, you are asking me very interesting questions. People are asking me time value of money and diminishing value of money. Exactly. Money, let me tell you a little thing about time value of money. See this, you can see the screen, no? Time value of the money, the formula of compounding. I did not enter into. Okay. What is the formula of compound interest, if you people remember? It will have. Exactly. I'm answering everybody's question. Now let me. So P into 1 plus R to the power N. Okay. This is basically called amount. Okay. This is also called future value. If you have amount P today, rate of interest is R. After n years, how much you will have? This is called future value. Okay. And let's say if after n years you are so let me give you an example. So money increases in value. This is called time value. And if you are going to, let's say, if you are 100 rupees today, interest is 10%. So 1 plus 10% to the power 3, it will be 1331, 133.1. Okay. And if you are going to get 100 rupees today, after 3 years, okay, what will be the value of that 100 rupees today in your hand? We will have to divide it by this 1 plus 10% to the power 3. So it will be 75.13. So in the first case, we will say 133.1 is the future value of 100 rupees. And in the second case, we will say 75.13 is the present value of 100 rupees. So in the first value, P into 1 plus R to the power N we did. In the second case, P divided by 1 plus R to the power N we did. This is called compounding. And this second thing is called discounting. Okay. And this is a very, very important part, because money earns money, money releases money. These are the important things. That's why we are talking about inflation. Okay. So inflation, what inflation does? Inflation reduces the value of the money. Okay. So we'll be talking about, when we are talking about need for investment, one of the biggest need for investment is because we have to value inflation. Yes, 11 it is R by 100. So I am taking about percentage rate only. Okay. Let me show you certain examples. Okay. Now, what do you think these pictures indicate? We will come to that. We will calculate those things. Don't worry. There's people, husband and wife with children, they are roaming in mall. What is the meaning of these pictures? Family, yes. Family is shopping things. They are going around for visits. What is the third thing? So this is basically indicating they are enjoying vacation. Okay. Yeah, these are lifestyle. Okay, this is lifestyle. This is standard of living. Okay. So first, your first need of inflation is the first thing that you need inflation is that you want to beat inflation. Okay, that is your first need. Why you should invest? Forget about financial freedom. If your money invested is not able to beat inflation, let me give you an example. You have 100 rupees, okay, in your account, and next, if it is 100 only, you don't invest in anywhere, and inflation is 5%, so whatever you can buy in 100 rupees, next year you will be able to buy that thing in 105 rupees, no? Or how much money you will have? You will have 100 rupees only. So you will not be able, this year you are going to buy certain things for rupees 100, and because of inflation you will not be able to buy same number things. So unless I invest this 100 rupees so that it become 107 or 108, I won't be able to beat inflation. So that's why the first and the foremost requirement that why one should invest is to beat inflation. Okay, interest, your saving banks account, your fixed deposits, they are not in a position to beat inflation. So you will have to look for options to beat inflation. We'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about that. Right now, why I'm focusing on? I am focusing on the thing that why you should invest. So the first thing you can write down, if you want to write down, you can write down also that the first need that why you should invest is first need is inflation. The second is standard of living. Exactly. That is a second kind of inflation which we call lifestyle inflation. Are you people aware of that? There are two, three kind of inflations. Let me tell you various different kind of inflation. Okay. Our first inflation is the basic inflation that government tells us. Okay. Wholesale price index and consumer price index. Other inflation is lifestyle inflation. Third inflation is technology inflation. Fourth inflation is medical or education inflation. Now, why we are talking about these 4-5 inflations? See this. Your prices are going to increase gradually in an economy. Okay, that's a very healthy sign. We need a basic level of inflation for we need a basic level of inflation for what? We need a basic level of inflation to sustain our economy. Okay. Now comes lifestyle inflation. How does lifestyle inflation work? When we start our job, when we start working, we are roaming around on bikes only and we are happy bikes and scooters and Activas. But as I grow in my career, I basically go and buy a car. Okay. I would buy a WagonR or some car. After some years, my income will increase. I will buy a Honda City. After some years, maybe I will buy a bigger car. So my standard of living continuously improves and it should improve, no? So that is also an inflation I'll have to take care of, and for that I'll have to invest. Another thing will be your social. A lot of people have been asking how can you beat inflation. We'll be talking about that. Okay, don't worry. Right now we are talking, I'm giving you various inflation, various different types of inflation, not only simple rises in price. Your lifestyle also increases when you go ahead. So when I start working, I stay in a small room, but when I retire, when I'm going to retire, I will be living in a big house, running a bigger car. Would I be ready to give that up? No, no. So that's important that I invest so that my retirement, after retirement, I am able to maintain my standard of living. And what is standard of living? Where do I eat? What do I drive? Everything is standard of living. No. The third inflation is technology, and your society also changes. Like when we were kids, no? Okay. You people would not have seen that time because you're kids. When we were kids, when I was as old as you, we used to play in public parks and all, and we were not much bothered about hygiene. We just went to the park and drink water from there, from the tap and all. Right now, can you even imagine of drinking the water from the tap that is giving water on the grass and the a simple small water bottle? How much that cost? How much? What is the cost of water bottle? 10 rupees, no? Small one, 15 rupees, 20 rupees. And if you go to Inox or some other place, it is 50 rupees, same bottle, no? And we are spending money. This expenditure did not used to be in our lives. Right now, in the earlier times when we were kids, not every house had phone. Four houses used to have phones, and everybody is used to be very happy giving the pados phone numbers. Landline used to be there. But right now, everybody is having one or two phones. Many of you would also have phones, no? So, from one phone for 5 houses, we have come 5 phones for 1 houses. And each phone needs to have a 4G connection. After some time, we'll need 5G also. That is what, yeah, there was hardly one landline. Phone used to be a status symbol till 1990s. People used to show off that I have phone. Right now, everybody has phone, and phone has 4G. 4G, after some time, it will become 5G. So this is what? This is technological inflation, and you have to take. By the time you people grow up, you don't know what technology is going to put in front of you. Okay. So along with the normal increase in the price, you have to take care of lifestyle inflation and technological inflation also, no? Am I making sense? Yeah, it will come after some time, Veer. Technology is continuously going to improve. We could not even think that we would be taking classes like that. I am sitting in my home, you people are sitting in your home, and we are talking. Face to face, we can chat. These things are giving comfort to humans. No doubts about that. But at the same time, all of these entail costs. And the earlier times when people used to build house, they will not, even the big houses do not have any place where they were going to put car, because they did not even think ki we will take cars. Everything is, yes, it is technological inflation, Priyank. Everything. So additional costs are coming into life which we did not have. We did not used to pay for internet when we were kids, and we did not think about it. Now, can anybody think about living without internet? Is it a possibility? No, no. So by the time you people grow up, life is going to be interesting. And then look at medical. Medical is highlighted nowadays. Medical inflation and educational inflation is higher than your normal inflation. Medical inflation and educational inflation is higher than your normal inflation. Isn't it? Medical costs rise high. And right now it is, yes, income has also increased, no? And income has increased, a lot increased. Let me give you a little 100% exact nahi hai, but let's talk about 1920 mein an Indian household used to run in 1 rupees. 1940 Indian household could run in 10 rupees. 1960 a normal household could run in 100 rupees. 1980 in India the household could run in 1000 rupees. 2000 10,000 rupees. 2020 I am talking about 1 lakh is the normal expenditure. In cities like Mumbai it is there. Okay. 2040, see this, by the time you will be working, monthly expenditure would be 10 lakhs. But don't worry about that, your income will also increase in this proportion, but we have to provide for it. That's a very, very important need for investment. This is what I was talking about. All this I'm talking about lifestyle inflation, technological inflation. Obviously, people's income has increased. That's why we are able to afford it, no? That's why the grandparent is saying 200 rupees used to be grandfather's salary and family used to run. Now you people can afford, no? 200 rupees, go out and give 200 rupees, eat a burger simply. Why? Because the standard of living has improved. Because our incomes have also improved. But you have to continuously keep, incomes are not forever. Someday you will have to stop. Okay. Someday you won't be earning anymore. That time is called retirement. Okay. So the first thing is you have to take care of inflation. Second thing is you have to take care of your lifestyle, standard of living. Everything is continuously increasing, and it's a normal thing. It's a part of a growing thing. Na? Living thing grow. But if you don't, yes, Arnesh, if you invest a big chunk of money every month for long term in options, in the long term, if you invest in mutual funds, equity mutual fund, it will definitely able to take care of inflation. Say this. Now look at this. This is the second mate. This particular example that we are discussing. Two old men sitting. This is the grandfather and his friend. Grandfather is asking his friend, "What is the matter? You look disturbed. Is something bothering you?" Friend says, "Yes, actually, my wife is very ill, and medical care is so expensive. Obviously, medical care is expensive. My pension sometimes cannot make up for all expenses I have to incur. I'm not young now, you know. I don't earn a salary." So grandfather says, "True, my friend, one needs to make enough provisions for some regular income in the one's old age. Is it possible to make provisions for a regular income in one's old age? What do you think? Is it possible? Right now, pensions are not there. No, yes, no. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no, but please understand me, no is not an option. You have to make it, yes. You have to, during the working life, you have to ensure that you save enough that some point in time, a time will come when you will no longer be working. And I am telling you to foresee that time. I am telling you to plan for that time when you will no longer need to be working. I'll come to that, Abhijit, question. So you should invest continuously. You should invest for retirement because, as I told you, if you die, then you will go. But what if your earning stops and you don't die? With the longevity, after the corona is gone, our medical facilities are improving. So if we are safe from corona, okay, then we are also going to live. Dogecoin is good to invest. Don't ask me those questions because I do not advise on cryptocurrency. Okay, cryptocurrencies and all. Now, when we are talking about retirement, don't put your money in the risky investments. Now, where should you invest your money if you are planning for retirement? Yes, Chetan, it is very, very risky. Maher is correct. Bank only. You can put in stocks. Okay. So if you are 30 years old and your retirement is 20 years away, 25 years away, go for equity stocks. But if your retirement is 5 years away, don't go for equity. So one thing I am telling you, very important, you are thinking, you are asking about various different options. Okay? So one thing I am telling you, which I did not intend to tell you, but I am telling you, since you people are talking about so many investment options, and if you know about so many investment options, it is but natural that you will have questions that which one option to select. Okay? Like Veer is saying, you can do stocks even when one is 70. There is no age limit and such. So what is the thing which drives your investment choice? Okay? Or rather, what should be the thing that should drive your investment choice? One very important thing, I'll come to that, Siddharth. One very important thing is risk tolerance. Okay, आपके PPT में नहीं है, let me write you. The thing that you should decide your investment is risk tolerance. Okay. Risk tolerance is a combination of your risk capacity plus risk attitude. Now, what is risk capacity? Risk attitude. Risk capacity is the factual positions. Okay. Risk capacity is the factual position in terms of what? Age, stage in life cycle, number of people who are dependent on you. Okay. On that, risk capacity depends, and risk attitude, are you enough courageous to take the risk. Like if I say I am a super risk taker, I am not afraid of anything, but you ask me, sir, how much money you have in bank account? I say I have 20,000 rupees in my bank account. Then I cannot take much risk. So my risk capacity is less. But when I'm talking about risk attitude, what is risk attitude? That even if I have 5 crore rupees in my bank account, but the market falls 5% and I'm having heart attack. Okay. So risk attitude is low. And the combination of your risk capacity and risk attitude is risk profile or risk tolerance. One has to be aware. If you're one should invest in equity only if the risk capacity or risk tolerance is high. A person whose risk tolerance is low, if he invests in equity or risky things, he will not be sleeping peacefully. And how do you know your risk tolerance level? There are questionnaires. Okay, there are things that will tell you your risk profile. Strong-hearted, I'll say high risk tolerance. There are scientific methods to calculate your risk tolerance. So if you want to invest in Dogecoin, if you want to invest in Bitcoin that people are talking about continuously, so your risk profile should be very, very high. Okay. If your risk profile is not high, and because you should be ready. Okay. Yes, Ananya, I am going to answer your question. There are many other options of investing other than stock markets. You can go for bond markets also. You can go for bank FDs, RDs. You can invest in real estate. A lot of options are there. But how will you decide your options? What will be your options? That will depend on how long your goal is. The longer your goal is, the more number of years you have to your goal, you can. Yes, Khush is asking me what is FD and what is RD. I'll tell you more about this in the next session. We'll be talking about banks, but let me tell you, FD stands for fixed deposit and RD stands for recurring deposits. Fixed deposit is a kind of account with the bank जहाँ पे आप बैंक के साथ you can open an account for a specific number of years. Like you can open an FD for 3 years. That means you will get the money after 3 years only with a fixed rate of interest. Okay. And RD is where you can invest every month. So FD is a lump sum investment for a fixed period, while RD is a monthly investment. Recurring deposit is a monthly investment, and those are guaranteed returns. Okay, they are not like market. Got it? So what did we learn? Risk tolerant, risk tolerance. A lot of people, PPF. Okay, you people have a lot of questions. Okay, PPF stands for Public Provident Fund. Okay, Public Provident Fund (PPF) is a scheme of Government of India for the people to save money for long term. So it's, if you want to save on PPF, PPF is for 15 years. Lump sum means a lot of money together. Like I can invest 1 lakh rupees lump sum or 10,000 rupees per month. So if I am putting a lot of money together, it is called lump sum, Krish. Okay, lump sum actually. So PPF stands for Public Provident Fund. That is a scheme of Government of India where the people can invest money for their retirement for 15 years, and there's a limit to investment, 1.5 lakhs. There's no tax on its interest. Yes, Krish. Lump sum is opposite of SIP. Now, when we are deciding about investment, these three are the very important thing that we see. The holy trinity of investment. What is? Safety, liquidity, and growth. So safety is, when we are talking about safety, is risk. Growth is return. And liquidity, you know, the ease of access. How soon can you get your money back? So when I'm talking about FD, fixed deposit, when a lot of people have been asking me questions about which one we should invest, which investment options. So these are the parameters on which you will judge. Okay. So if the risk is high, you would want risk to be low. Okay. You would want return to be high, and you would want liquidity, ease of access to the money is high. PPF interest is decided by government, changes every 3 months. Kush. So when we are looking at return, risk and growth, what we are talking about, we want return to be low, high. We want risk to be low. We want liquidity to be high. Liquidity means how soon can you get your money back. Okay. So let's talk about some of the investment options based on this. Let's say if I'm talking about equity shares means stock market. The meaning of the word equity is ownership. How's the risk? Risk, return, and liquidity. Now, risk is high or low in equity? High, yes. Risk is high, return is also high, and liquidity is also high. While liquidity is high, you can put money in the stock market whenever you want. You can get the money from the stock market whenever you want. Okay. Let's talk about bank FD. When we are talking about bank fixed deposit, risk is low. Oh, sorry, risk is low. Return is also low. Liquidity is also low because bank mein aapka paisa would be stuck. Okay. So everything is low about bank FD and everything is high about equity shares. Okay. When we are talking about, let's say about real estate. You are buying a house. What will be the risk? Medium. Return could be high. And when we are talking about liquidity, risk could be medium. Liquidity would be very low. It is not easy to sell a house. ऐसा थोड़ी होता है जैसे the moment you require money, the highest liquidity is your savings bank account. Na? जब whenever you want, you can withdraw money. But whenever you want, can you sell a house? No, no. Okay. So basically, based on these three factors, if you are ready to take high risk for high return and high liquidity, go for equity. If you want everything low, risk also low, return also low, you are okay with low liquidity, go for bank FD. Let's say about company debentures, what we am talking about. If I'm talking about company debentures, risk is medium, return is medium to low, and liquidity is also low because debentures are not so easily tradable. Okay. Now somebody was asking me, what is a mutual fund? So let me, in addition to this, a very, very common and very, very popular investment option is mutual fund. Okay. So let me tell you what is a mutual fund. Anybody, what is a mutual fund? Bunch of stocks. A mutual fund is a collective investment vehicle. Okay. If we are talking about a mutual fund is a collective investment vehicle. And what do I mean by when I say it is a collective investment vehicle? I say collective investment vehicle means it, it takes money from a lot of people, okay, and invest this in securities. So for the people who don't know where to invest, but they want to invest in the stock market, they can invest through mutual fund schemes. A mutual fund is in the form of trust, okay, and there is an asset management company. Combine okay and go, we say a mutual fund. So you basically, if let's say if you are investing 1 lakh rupees in a mutual fund, okay, so mutual fund will have units. Let's say 1 unit is of 1,000. So you will get 100 units. Okay. And that 1 lakh rupees will be taken by the fund manager. Okay. And it will be invested into various asset classes, securities and all. If the value of the 1 lakh increases to 1,10,000, that will be your gain. Okay. And if the value of the investment goes down from 1 lakh to 90,000, that will be your loss. So mutual funds also invest in either equity. Those mutual funds which invest in stock markets are called equity mutual fund. Those mutual funds which invest in debt markets are called debt mutual fund. Those mutual funds which invest in both in equity and debt, they are called balanced mutual fund. Okay. In addition to this, there are some mutual funds which invest in very, very safe short-term things. So those funds are called liquid funds and money market funds. Liquid funds and money market funds, these are for the people who are looking at lowest risk possible, but the return would also be low. You must be looking at a lot of ads that are coming nowadays, which is saying mutual fund sahi hai. No, I don't say Kush, that is not better to invest in, that is safer to invest in. Harnish is asking what is equity. Equity means ownership. Okay? Equity means ownership. So if you are buying a share of a company, that means you are buying the equity of that company. That's why the share that gives you ownership in the company is called equity share. The meaning of the word is equity. Veer is asking me, can we say return depends on risk? Exactly, you have hit the nail on the head, Veer. Return depends on risk. Exactly, right thing you have said. If I would have been a physical class, I would have got a clap for you. That's a wonderful thing to say. Return depends on risk, and make a rule. Okay, make a rule. Let me tell you, high return, okay, means higher risk. High return with low risk, impossible. High returns means higher risk. Ulta, Joyce, look at it ulta. Higher return means higher risk. Vice versa is not necessarily true. Okay. Vice versa is not necessarily true. That means I am telling you that high return would mean high risk, but high risk not necessarily mean higher return. So to generate higher returns, you have to take higher risk. But if you are taking higher risk without thinking, then that does not guarantee higher returns. Got it? So please, when you go out and work in the market, when you go and interact with people, if anybody is promising you higher return and fixed return, he is lying to you. So you go out, you go to Bengal. Bengal, when there was a scam called chit fund scam, when some people would come into the villages and promise 12%, 13%, 15%. Anybody in our country, if he's promising excess of 10, 12, 15% return, please understand he's lying. Anybody is telling you 100% I'll give you 14% return, he cannot give you. 100%, 15% return are assured. Impossible. It's wrong. You can earn even higher returns. Yeah, it was also done by Sahara Renad. You're right. Sahara did it. Exactly. That definition is correct. A mutual fund is a pool of funds. It's a collective investment vehicle where a lot of investors pool their money, and that money is invested by the fund manager depending on the scheme objective. There is no basic rate of return in equity, Vibha. Everything is market driven. So somebody says ki equity mein you invest, you will get 8%, he is lying. Nobody can promise a rate in equity. Equity market, stock markets cannot promise you return. They can give you 100%, they can give you 500% also, and they can give you minus 500% also. So always remember that mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Please read the offer document carefully before investing. This disclaimer you get, no? That is why. So please understand, there are 2-3 things. First, know your own risk tolerance, that how much risk you can take. If the market crashes, everybody who is invested in the market loses money. Where? Kunsh is asking, how do company assign shares under pro rata arrangement? Basically, they take out a lottery kind of thing. In IPO, I think you are asking, huh, Kunsh? Under an IPO, people apply for shares. Not everybody gets shares. So they do a lottery system kind of thing. Just a sec. I think I have opened the wrong window. So what I'm talking about, risk, return, and liquidity. These are the 3 factors, and any investment option from Bitcoin to mutual funds to direct equity, to bank deposits, to PPF account, any investment option can be judged on these three factors. Market crash means when market suddenly falls from, have a very, very big fall. That is called market crash. Jimit. Like last year, what happened? Just a sec. Last year, what happened? Market came from 42,000 to 25,000 in one day, no? Or 1 day of 1 week. That is called market crash. In 2008, 19,000, say 8,000. Yes, that is what market crash is. So basically, when you are looking at, say this, when you are looking at, if you are evaluating investment option, when you are thinking that I have to invest in a particular option, I don't have to invest in a particular option, try to judge your investment options into these things: safety, liquidity, growth. Liquidity is a very, very important part. I have a house of 1 crore rupees, okay? But when I need 5 lakh rupees, I am not able to sell that house. That what is the house used to me? Nothing, no? Having said that, I'm not saying that you should not invest in a house. But if you think, first make a estimate that what is the kind of liquidity that I'll need, and keep everything aside. Okay. So you should invest in real estate also. You should invest in stock market also. You should invest in mutual funds also. You should invest in bank also. Okay. A combination of this is called what? A combination of all your investment is called investment portfolio. Okay. So when you are investing, you can invest in gold also. Gold mein investment is possible. You can buy physical gold also. Otherwise, electronically, you can also invest in gold. It is called sovereign gold bond issued by Government of India. Okay. Otherwise, in mutual funds also, they have a scheme called gold ETF. So there are many, many schemes available, many, many investment options available, and they have their own characteristics. Since we have a limited time of 2 hours, I won't be able to discuss all the things and all the things. But what I'm giving you is, I am giving you a starting point. What Paytm? Paytm say you can invest in mutual fund through Paytm, through gold also. Yeah. Jimit is asking me a question. How does equity market work? Equity market works. Chaliye, let me tell you something. Equity markets or stock markets are basically platforms, okay, where companies who need money, they meet the people who have excess money. So if you are investing money in an IPO of a company, you are giving companies to do money to do business. Okay. So when the companies are approaching the stock markets to arrange money for themselves to do business, it is called primary market. No, KYC is required for Paytm. Miners cannot do that. So then when the companies are issuing share like IPO aa gaya, rights issue, or maybe when the company is giving the share for the public for the first time, whatever you call it, IPO, rights, bonus, it is called primary market. So it is only in the primary market that you are paying money and company is getting that money. Now what happens is, once you have got the shares of the company, let's say you applied in an IPO, you were buying when the company was offering for the first time, you wanted to buy it. You purchase those shares. Now what you will do with those shares? You cannot wait now that company will buy these shares back from me. So you want to trade that share. So the segment of the market where the shares are traded is what we know as the stock market. They are also called secondary market. So stock exchanges, BSE, NSE, everything is a secondary market, and secondary market gives you chance to make money. In secondary market, for a particular share, if the demand is high and supply is low, the price rises. And vice versa, if the supply is high and demand is low, the price falls. Government does not maintain equilibrium in the market. Nobody maintains equilibrium in the market. Markets are self-driven kunsh. Government can take some decisions which may impact the market, but that is not sure. Yes, they take brokerage, they take very low brokerage. Okay. So now a concept of discount brokers have come, who charge very, very less, like Zerodha and all. Equity market go high or low by the concept of demand and supply. If there are more buyers than sellers, then the market will go high. And if there are more sellers than buyers in the market, then the market will go low. Yes, secondary market is the stock market. So most of the time, stock market is the secondary market only, on which you are, like, if I am buying a Reliance share, and if you are selling a Reliance share, so you will sell and I will buy, na? Mukesh Ambani won't get any money. So this kind of things are happening, are called secondary market transaction. Chaliye, have a look at this. Smita starts investing 750 rupees a year from the age of 15. At the age of 30, she stops investing. She does not withdraw a single penny from this money. And there is a second guy, starts investing 5,000 rupees from 30 years old. He continues to invest the same amount in the age of 60. Now, which of them will have more money? Yes, there is a primary market. Today, I am answering more of your questions. Yes, Harshita, there is a primary market when the companies are having coming for the market for the first time, selling their shares for the first time. That is called primary market. Jay will have more money. IPO is a primary market transaction, Harshita. They are not separate places. When companies are coming for the first time, it is called primary market, and when the already existing shares are being traded, it is called second time. So abhi Smita or Jay mein se who is having more money? If you do this calculation, let us see. Shall I do this calculation? Then you will get more. Let me calculate this in Excel. Okay. Let's see. Is it Smita or Jay? Who is the winner? Overwhelmingly, people are supporting Jay. So let me also calculate this. She is saving 750 rupees a year for 15 years. And this guy is saving not if. There's a function called future value function which I am going to use. Okay. Don't worry about this. You will come to this later. If the rate is 10%, rate I am fixing both for them. She is investing for 15 years. Amount is 750. PV is 0. And type, let's say, 1. Don't worry about the formula. This is a formula. She will have 26,212 rupees at the end of 15 years. And this amount is going to compound for how many more years? 30 more years at 10%. So this into 1 plus 10% to the power 30. Okay. So she will have 4,57,388 rupees. $750 every year, no? She is doing. See this. This is a future value formula. PMT is the amount that you invest every year. Okay. Rate is 10%. Number of periods is 15 years. PMT is 750. PMT is the regular payment. PV is 0 and type is 1. 26,212 and 26,212. If invested at 10% for 30 years, she is having 4,57,000 and this guy Jay. Let's say calculate for Jay. Rate is the same for both Jay and this lady. Number of period for Jay is 30 years. Investment is minus 5,000. PV is 0. Type is 1. Jay is having more money. Okay. Now Jay is having more money, but just twice the more money, while she is investing 4 times the money this lady is investing. Why so? Because the earlier you start, the more chance you get for compounding. Mega has asked me very interesting question. What should be the end goal, like how much amount to collect for retirement? $15 and then 30 years, no? Let me see. Start investing 750 per year from the age of 15 at the age of 30. She does not withdraw a single penny from this money. What if she investing 750 per month? Per year is looking, some mistake is there. So let's say per month कर देते हैं इसको. Per month में NPR would be 180. Oh, what happened? Just a sec, some mistake. Acha, rate would be now 10% by 12. Okay, if she invests, if she invests 750 per month, she will have 54,69,396. And if this guy invests, he will have even more, 1 crore 13,96,626. See, this compounding is playing. Yes, Arman, a very relevant question she has asked me. A very important question she has asked me, that how much we should save for a retirement. That depends from person to person. Okay, that depends from how much income you have, how much expenses you have. Okay, then this is a story about wealthy king, I'm sure. So basically, I'll come to retirement goal later. Okay, retirement is a very, very relevant question you have asked. So I'll come to that later. See this, once upon a time there lived a wealthy king. He was revered for his intelligence as a true patron of innovation. One day a man brought to him a new board game that man invented. He called the game chess. The king played the game with the man and he was so impressed that he asked him to choose a reward for himself. The man asked for 1 Asharfi for the first square of the chessboard, 2 Asharfis for the second square, 4 for the third, 8 for the fourth, and all the 64 squares on the chessboard. How many Asharfis will he take? Have you heard this story earlier? Yes, it will be very, very high. 2 to the power 63 for the last. The king was totally gone. This guy took all the thing of king. It must be in many, many digits. See this. It would be for the first thing 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024. We have reached to the power 10 and add karte till 2 to the power of 64. So we can't even write the figure. Okay, it's not possible. Yeah, it's a geometric progression with a common ratio of 2. Can we calculate that? Okay. So just look at the amount. What is this? What is this happening? This is basically geometric progression is called what? Geometric progression is compounding. And the impact of compounding is so great. Okay. Impact of the compounding is so great on the overall world culture that Einstein was forced to call this compounding as the eighth wonder of the world. Say this, 2 to the power 64, Gaurav has calculated for us. It is 184467440737095511616. The king went bonkers. Okay. And never did he ask. All the wealth of this king was taken by the man who won the chess game, and still the king was in debt. So this is basically compounding. Let's see one more example of compounding. Okay. A 20-year-old student wants to, just a sec. I forgot to. One sec, opening the file again. See this. This is a question from my real life example. Once I was invited in a college for a guest lecture. So the kids were around 20 years old. So kids were not very amused, or they were not looking very entertained. So when the kids don't look entertained, no, I start doing calculations. So this calculation, I did this with those kids. A 20-year-old student wants to plan for retirement. I say, let's plan for your retirement. Like I tell you that let us start planning for your retirement. What will your response to me? If I ask you that let us start planning for your retirement, what will you tell me? Mega is saying king was a product of nepotism. He didn't know maths. Now that's a very interesting observation. Nepotism is a very... Yes, it is too early. I am too young. Sir, we don't earn money. Yeah, exactly. Sir, we have not started working. How can we don't earn money? Okay. Why should we do it now? Okay. Let's take a simple exercise. So I told those kids, okay, whether you are working now, these are college kids. You must be younger. A 20-year-old kid would be a college kid, no? So I told them, okay, whether you are earning or not, can you save 10 rupees per day? You people also, I'm sure, can save you 10 rupees per day, no? Can you do that? 10 rupees per day is manageable, huh? So that we made a question. That if a 20-year-old student wants to plan for retirement and she saves 10 rupees per day, at the end of the year, she takes the accumulated savings. How much will be accumulated saving at the end of the year? 3,650? Assuming it's a 365 days a year. So at the end of the year, she accumulates 3,650 rupees and puts them into an online stock account, which is giving 15% return. How much money will she have when she is 65 years old? Gaurav has calculated 17,10,006. Okay. Anybody else? You would like to guess the amount? How much the amount would be? 321,84,924. How did you calculate it, Siddharth? Amount would be in lakhs. That's sure. Amount would be in lakhs. That's sure. But how many lakhs? Siddhartha has given an amount in crores. 3 crore 21 lakh 84,924. Now I think that's a bit too much. Abhijay is saying 20-30 lakhs. Gaurav is saying 17 lakhs. Between 15 to 20 lakhs. Okay. Compounding interest. It's compound interest, Siddharth. Krish is saying it is 1 crore something. Kuch is saying 16 leap years. Now, interesting observation. I am saying leap year mein 10 rupees ka she will eat something. So take 3650 also. Chale, let me give you an easy way to calculate. I'll tell you one function. You can use Excel ka, in the Microsoft Excel, there's a inbuilt function called future value. Okay. Arman is saying 2.5 lakhs. Let me show you. Let us calculate exact value now. Okay. future value calculates. Now, it is not possible for you to calculate this manually. It's impossible. You can only estimate. It is not manually calculable. You will need a financial calculator or a simple calculator. So you won't be able to calculate this. Sorry, I dropped some water on me. (11.5 to the power 45 mega. Yeah. All of us, many of us must be maths student, no? And maths must be fresh in your mind. People like us, we studied maths some 20, 25 years back. So we use tools. Chaliye, we use a very interesting tool called Microsoft Excel. Let me tell you. Microsoft Excel has a function called future value. Let me show you the function that I just utilized. FV stands for future value. And in this, you can see, when I open this, there are 5 things coming: rate, number of periods, PMT, present value, and type. So basically, rate what we are taking is 15%. Okay, rate interest stands for interest rate. If the investment frequency is yearly, we will not divide by 12. Number of periods is, how many years are there in this case? 20 years and 65 years. How many years? 45 years, exactly, 45 years. So let's take 45 years. PMT is the monthly payment or yearly payment. I'll come to that, Gaurav. I will answer your question also. Why taking 45? PMT is yearly payment is of minus 3,650 rupees. PV is if you are already making some lump sum investment. She is not making any lump sum investment right now. PV is 0. And type, now please listen to me. If you want to learn this function, listen to this. Type takes only 2 values. It takes either value 1 or it takes value 0. So one value is taken. We put value 1 in type when she is immediately investing. And we put 0 when she is investing after 1 year. Okay. So she is investing after 1 year. So we put type 0. So that that doubt of Gaurav, she is saving for 1 year, that is solved. 1 year she is spent in saving, no? And the answer is this. The closest one was Siddharth, and somebody said no. Who said that it will be some 1 crore something? Krish or answer is this: 1 crore 30 lakh 85,718. So just by saving 10 rupees a day, you can have 1 crore 30 lakh 85,718 rupees. Isn't it interesting? Doesn't it look magical, no? This is the exact amount. Okay. Now the next question is, now you I might want to ask me is, sir, 1 crore 30 lakhs to hai. But what will we able to buy at that time? What will be the value of this 1 crore 30 lakhs? Because there will be inflation also now in the next 45 years. Right now, 1 crore 30 lakhs is great. We can buy a house. I'm sure after 45 years, we won't be able to buy a house in 1 crore 30 lakhs. So you would want to know that what will be the value of this 1 crore 30 lakh 85,000 in today's purchasing power. See this, let me see. So let's take inflation. For a 45-year period, 6% would be a good rate of inflation. Okay. So if I consider in our country that 6% is the rate of inflation, let me calculate the present value in today's purchasing power by calculating the present value. And how do you calculate the present value? I told you we calculate present value by discounting. So I'm discounting this divided by 1 plus 6% to the power 45. See this, 9,50,678. So the value of 1 crore 30 lakh 85,718 after 45 years will be equal to 9,50,000 today. So you can buy a normal car, no? Sedan car. Is it bad? Suddenly your grandpa tells you, boss, I am going to buy a car. Won't you be surprised? And suddenly this money comes. 9,50,000 is not a bad amount, no? Just by saving 10 rupees a day. So this is compounding. Now let me ask you another question that will highlight the magic of compounding. Okay, that will highlight the magic of compounding. What if the rate, we have taken the rate to be 15%. What if I can change the rate to 8%? What do you think the amount would be? Interest is 15% we have taken, Krish. Means return on investment is 15%. What if we change it to 8%? Then what will happen? What do you think? We are reducing rate by half. More than half? Okay, let's see. Let me change the rate to 8%. Look at the amount now. 14,10,745. 1/10. Okay. Amount has reduced by 1/10. That's compounding can give you. Okay. Chale. So basically it is very, very important. So if you want to live a life of 1 crore 30 lakhs, invest in something which can give you 15%. And please believe me, there is no other asset class, no other investment option that can give you 15% other than equity. Okay. In the long term, equity is important. And look at this. If you reduce 5 years, simply reduce 5 years, 45 ki jagah, if I do 40, look at the amount. Amount goes for half. Okay. From 45 years, if I come to 40, amount goes to half. That means compounding is most effective in the final years. Okay. So that's why we should invest regularly. We should invest. And if once we are reaching the end of the investment, don't this. Yeah, it happens. You're right, Arnish. So this is basically the power of compounding. And what is the morale that you got out of this story? That whether you are investing in anything, you should invest regularly and you should invest for long term. In the long term, what will happen? In the long term, so even a small amount of money can give you huge wealth if you allow compounding to take place in the long term. Making sense? So invest for long term. We all work for money. It is equally important that the money works for us. The question is how? So by investing, you are making the money work for you. These are the investment options I've told you about. You know, savings bank account, money market fund. I told you money market funds are safer schemes of mutual fund. Then there are bank fixed deposits. I've already talked to you about that. Then these are short-term investment. If you have money for short-term, go for these. Go for post office deposits also. Post office ka small short-term deposits. Okay. Swaraj, this is a question Swaraj has asked. That in case of emergency, you have to take all your money back from the stocks. I am giving you one rule. Please do not put your emergency money in stock markets. Stock markets are not for emergency money. Making sense? Because you don't know now what will be the position of the market. If you need money, you need money. If the market has fallen, then you will have to book the loss, no? Companies give dividend annually. Some companies give 2 times in a year also, Jimin. So bonds and debentures. Somebody is asking me what is bond. Bond is basically, bond and debentures are the same things. Okay, yeah, Shresh. Bond and debentures are the same things. The only thing when the government issues it, they are the certificate of debts. Like share is a certificate of ownership. Bond is a certificate of borrowing. Okay. Shares, if you take shares for short term, no, it will be very, very risky. So I would advise against this unless you are trading. unless your profession is a share trader. Yeah, companies keep on giving dividends, no? Bond market is basically like the segment of the capital market, stock exchanges, where the equity shares are traded, उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Stock market. So the segment of the capital market when bonds are traded is known as bond market. Okay. Then we have company fixed deposits, mutual funds, life insurance policies, and equity shares. So basically, you have to understand based on your risk, return, and liquidity requirement, understanding your risk tolerance, that which of these products are more suitable for you. Which of these products are more suitable for you? Just a second, I'm getting it. Yes, both primary and secondary markets are stock markets. I'm extremely sorry for that. It was an important call from BSc Institute only, so I had to take. So basically, depending on your own risk tolerance and the risk return characteristics of these products, you can choose. So investment planning focuses on identifying effective investment strategies according to investors' risk appetite and financial goals. Investment planning is important because it helps you to derive the maximum benefit from your investments. Your success as an investor depends upon your ability to choose the right investment options based on your requirements, needs, and goals. Investment planning also helps you to decide upon the right investment strategy. Beside your individual requirements, your investment strategy will also depend on your age, your circumstances, and your risk appetite. Exactly what I was telling you. Risk attitude, Aparna, is your attitude towards risk. Risk attitude is your attitude towards risk. Whether you are risk loving or you stay away from the risk, that is called risk attitude. What is the advantage of investment planning? It helps you to generate and maximize your income. Okay. And it ensures that your money increases. Increase your money, no? So it ensures appreciation of capital now and in the future. It strengthens your portfolio. This is all your investment in debt, equity, real estate put together. It is called your investment portfolio. So this thing strengthens your portfolio. It reduces your taxes and it keeps you prepared financially for any situation. Okay. So that's what money says. Save me. You save money, but put it in the productive usage. If you will put money in the productive usage, what will you be able to do? You will be able to eat 2 marshmallows tomorrow. It reduces tax, Tarandeep, because in many investment options, under Income Tax Act, government has given a lot of rebates, exemptions, and deductions. Like investment in mutual funds, you can save taxes. If you invest money in real estate, then government gives tax rebate. If you investment in debt, there are different kind of tax rebates. Kush is asking me in real life, what extent is voting right effective for equity shareholders? Not much. Small equity shareholders don't even bother about the voting rights. But if they want, they can do that. But not many people do that in practical. There not many people utilize their voting rights in practical. So investment planning is required for all these things because you have all these things in your life. You have to plan for education of children. Okay? Not you. You won't be able to appreciate it. Think of you 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line. Dividend rate is not very high. Your return requirement is higher, no? Company will give you 2, 3, 4 rupees dividend or maybe 1% dividend, but you want 15, 20% return. No, that's why we trade. So investment help you in planning for education. Investment help you planning for your risk. Okay. Investment planning, obviously, Tax planning allows the other elements of financial planning interact more effectively. So I told you there are some investment options which help you reduce your tax liability. Retirement planning, obviously, retirement planning means I've been speaking a lot that planning for the time when you will no longer be working. And finally, special planning, planning for emergencies, planning for untoward events, planning for special circumstances like death, loss of work or remuneration. Now, the main tool for planning in such a case is insurance. The risk of death is covered by insurance, but at the same time, you can keep certain money aside. Like suddenly, if I lose a job, okay, I am working in certain company and suddenly I lose a job. There is no best place to invest in. That depends on your choices, Mahir. Okay? What do you want from your investment? If you want higher return, you will have to take higher risk, then equity is best. If you don't want risk, if you're totally risk averse, then bank fixed deposit is the best. If you are middle risk, then company debentures might be okay. If you want to invest a bigger amount for a long term, sometimes real estate may suit you. So that depends. There is no universal answer that which is the best thing to invest. You cannot say Bitcoin is good, or you cannot say stock is good. You cannot say debentures is good. It all depends on your position in life. Got it, Maher? So you have to analyze your requirements. That why do I want to invest? So the first question that you should ask yourself is that why do I want to invest? That's why I'll give you another mantra, okay, which says purpose is more important than product. देखिए life insurance you need when there is some dependent on you, Kush. If nobody is dependent on you, you don't need. So whenever the moment you get married or maybe some people are dependent on you, then you should take life insurance. Before that, you don't need life insurance. But having said that, before that, you need medical insurance and accident insurance. Life insurance is not required unless you have some dependence on yourself. Got it? Now we come to the final thing of the day, which is salsa with 72. Now you know that you can get different rate of interest on different investment. The rate of interest that you get will depend on the kind of investment that you have made and the period for which you will stay invested. Now, so I please tell you that I have invested 1,000 rupees at the rate of 12% per year. Can you tell me how many years will it take for amount of 1,000 rupees to double? At 12%, how many years it will take for double? 6 years, not months, okay? Raghav had asked me question, what happens if the person with life insurance dies? If the person with life insurance dies, then his dependents will get the money. Sum assured will be given to his dependents. Yes, 6 years. Why? Because there is a basic thumb rule which says, what is the rule of 72? For the people who already know, it's okay. For the people who don't know, please see this rule. It's a very, very useful rule. A rule stating that in order to find the number of years required to double your money at a given interest rate, you divide the compound interest into 72. Okay. After doing that, result is approximate number of years it will take for your investment to double, and vice versa is also true. So if your money is doubling in 12 years, simply divide by 12. You know, if you are getting 12%, your money will double in 72 by 12, 6 years. Okay. And if you are getting, let's say, there's a product which is doubling your money in 5 years. 6 years, 6 years it is. That will depend on the amount of insurance he has taken. I can decide right now what the money my dependents will get if I die. Okay. So I have to buy the policy worth that amount, Kush. Kush has been asking about the amount the dependents will get. Okay. So basically, if you are getting 12%, that means your money will get double in 6 years. If you are getting 10%, your money will get double in 10.2 years. Look at the table. If your rate of interest is 10 years, your money will get in double in 7.2 years. कैसे आया? 72 divided by 10, 7.2. If your period of investment is 5 years, okay, rate of interest would be 14.4%. So this question can be asked in the reverse way. If your money is doubling in 7 years or 6 years, what is the rate of interest you are getting? Simply divide 12 by 6 or 72 by 6. So have a look at this. If your money is doubling in 20 years, that means you are getting 3.6, or vice versa, we can say that if you are getting 3.6, then we will be getting, money will be doubling in 20 years. Okay. So another use of rule. This is clear. Rule of 72 is clear with everybody. Any doubts in that? Some people of you, I understand, already knew this rule. But for the people who have heard this rule for the first time, I hope it is clear with you. Okay. Okay, then let's apply this rule of 72, one calculation, and then we will call it a day. Rule of 72 was asking me to repeat. So this is rule of 72. That number of years to taking to double your money at a particular rate R is given by 72 upon R, and the vice versa is also true. So if you 72 is in the numerator, yes, 72 will be in the numerator. So I tell you that at a deposit you are getting 9% interest. In how many years your money will double? You will simply 72 by 9, 8 years. Got it? If you are getting a return of 18%, that your money will double in 4 years. Chaliye, let's apply it. Say this. That will give you insight investment. Let's say you are investing at the rate of 9%. 2021 May, you will invest 1 lakh rupees. When will it double? In what year it will double? If in 2021 I invest 1 lakh rupees, in what year it will double? 2029, exactly. In 2029, I will have 2 lakh rupees. Then in 2037, again it will double. 2037, I will have 4 lakh rupees. And in 2045, I will have 8 lakh rupees. Okay. What example I am showing you using the rule of 72, simply, we don't have to worry about calculation, no. We know money will get double every 8 years because the rate is 9%. So 2021, the rate is 1 lakh will become 8 lakh in the next 24 years. Okay. Now consider a situation that you become smart and you are able to find an option which is giving you 12%. That rule can be derived mathematically, Siddhartha, by using logarithms 2 to the power ko karke. So don't worry about deriving that mathematically, just learn it. Now let's see another example. Somehow you are able to provide this return of 12%. If the return is 12%, look, 2021 1 lakh, 2027 2 lakhs, 2033 4 lakhs, and 2039 we have 8 lakhs, 2045 16 lakhs. See this. In the earlier example, 2045 8 lakhs. Just 3% increase in return and amount is 16 lakhs. This is the use of this is the use of what? Rule of 72. Okay. Very important that you learn the returns. Returns are very, very important. Don't worry about it. We have to worry about returns. At the same time, we have to worry about risk. So what are the, like somebody was asking me to summarize today's class. So let me summarize it. So why do we invest? We invest to take care of our future needs. We invest to take, what I covered today was, we invest to take care of inflation. We invest to take care of our standard of living. We invest to take care of our retirement needs. We invest to take care so that our money does not lose value. These are the needs for investment, and then we came, where do we invest? So when we are looking at where to invest, then the 3 factors that came into our mind, and the 4th factor I told you. 3 factor was safety, liquidity, and growth. Safety means risk, liquidity means ease of access, and growth means return. So on these three parameters, you can judge, you can evaluate the investment options and take a decision. Another very important thing that you should also take into consideration should be your own risk tolerance. Because if you are functioning beyond your risk tolerance, boss, then it is difficult. So with this, I come to an end, and I told you the power of compounding. Just saving 10 rupees a day can make you crorepati, no? Start saving 5 rupees, 10 rupees a day. Put it in your piggy bank. At the end of the year, tell your daddy that invest it somewhere every year. Okay?